First at 5, the father of an autistic boy who died 3 years ago changed his plea in court today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. John Almond pleaded guilty to all charges, including second-degree murder. 12 News reporter Matt Paddock was in court today and joins us live in Fall River. Matt?
Well, the Commonwealth say that David Almond was thriving at the Devereaux school. But in March of 2020, his father would gain custody of him and his brothers. Now, 3 years later, David's father pleading guilty to murder. The details? Gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, and tragic.
Any reasonable person would have seen it looked like he was at Auschwitz. Every person we've talked to about this case, it was a traumatic event for them.
14-year-old David Almond was a triplet, each of the boys on the autism spectrum. According to the Commonwealth, all three were thriving at the Devereaux school before their father, this man, John Almond, received custody. That was in March of 2020. David weighed a healthy 143 pounds, but at the time of his death, he weighed just 86.
They were functioning well until they came back to the defendant's home and was subject to the inhumane neglect that caused David's death.
On Friday, John Almond changing his plea to guilty on charges of second-degree murder, 2 counts of reckless endangerment of a child, and committing serious injury to a child.
I'm pleased that the defendant accepted responsibility for the cruel and inhumane treatment of both of his sons.
While presenting the facts of the case, the Commonwealth describing the children's living conditions as nothing less than deplorable.
The life sentence was appropriate based on the extreme neglect that the defendant was a party to.
District Attorney Thomas Quinn says that their focus has now shifted towards the co-defendant's case, Jacqueline Coleman, as they continue to seek justice for David's death. And District Attorney Quinn says that the other 3 brothers are not living together at this time. That's Michael, Grayson, and Joshua, and that he had no further comment on the issue. Reporting live in Fall River, Matt Paddock, 12 News. Yeah, Mike, John Almond, the father of 14-year-old David Almond, pleading guilty to all charges today in Fall River Superior Court. And one of those charges, second-degree murder, which carries with it a life sentence with at least 20 years served before parole. The details? Gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, and tragic.
He sought them out, took custody of them, brought them to a place that was no other way to describe it other than a house of horror.
14-year-old David Almond was a triplet, each of the boys on the autism spectrum. And today, the boy's father, this man, John Almond, pleading guilty to second-degree murder of his son. David was found emaciated, bruised, and unresponsive in the family's home back in October of 2020.
I'm pleased that the defendant accepted responsibility for the cruel and inhumane treatment of both of his sons.
While presenting the facts of the case, the Commonwealth say the boys were thriving at the Devereaux school.
They were functioning well until they came back to the defendant's home and was subject to the inhumane neglect that caused David's death.
David weighing a healthy 143 pounds. But after just 8 months of moving in with his father, the Commonwealth says he would lose 40% of his body weight.
Any reasonable person would have seen it looked like he was at Auschwitz.
Now, District Attorney Quinn says that their focus has shifted to co-defendant Jacqueline Coleman as they continue to try to get justice for David. Reporting live in Fall River, Matt Paddock, 12 News.